There are a lot of different reasons why you may have taken a break from working. Maybe you were caring for a sick family member, or you were the one that fell ill, or maybe you wanted to raise a family, or maybe you just wanted to take a break from working and travel the world. No matter your reason, you shouldn't feel guilty about it, and we're going to give you 5 tips to help you re-enter the workforce after taking a break. I've heard this a lot from some of my clients. I have great work experience, but then I took a break and now nobody wants to hire me. Everybody keeps focusing on the gap in my resume and I don't know what to do about it. Well, not to worry, if you follow these 5 tips, you'll be able to break back into the workforce and start working again. Tip number 1 is set yourself up for success. If you were caring for a loved one or raising a family, you're going to want to make the appropriate arrangements and have the discussions needed with your family so that you have the free time to work on yourself and get ready to re-enter the workforce. You're probably going to need between 5 and 20 hours a week of free, uninterrupted time to work on yourself, your resume, and regain some skills. And remember, if you're planning on getting another full-time role, your family and other arrangements will need to accommodate you working at least 40 hours a week. And tip number 2 is you need to be honest. Be honest with yourself and be honest with employers. When re-entering the workforce, you need to be honest with yourself and know that you may not be qualified for the same type of role that you were doing when you left. For example, if you were at a manager level when you took your break, depending on how long you've been out of work, you may not be able to come back in again as a manager. And you may even have to take a bit of a pay cut compared to what you used to make before. But remember, making some money is still better than zero income. And above all else, make sure that you're honest with employers and when you're networking. You don't need to make up any lies or fabricate stories about how you were trying to start your own business or pursue this startup idea and it never worked out, or you were working on a long-term project and it never really came to fruition. Keep in mind that employers really do appreciate honesty, and especially here in the Bay Area or Silicon Valley, it's very common for folks to take breaks and then try and re-enter the workforce. So a lot of these companies are open to those backgrounds. And tip number 3 is you're going to want to rebuild your network again. If you haven't been keeping up with your former colleagues, bosses, or mentors, it's time to reach back out and reconnect. They'll obviously be able to give you some really strong referrals, but beyond that, they'll be able to talk to you about the job market, how your role may have evolved since you've been out of work, the different tools, technologies, and skills that you may want to learn before re-entering the workforce, and how your prior skill set and job title fits in with this current job market. I've even seen some cases where your prior job title may no longer have the same meaning in the current job market, and you might be applying for roles that you actually aren't qualified for. Tip number 4 is to refresh your skills. Now, I'm not saying you need to go back to school and get an MBA or a master's degree, but you do need to invest in yourself and learn some of the new tools, technologies, and skills for your current role today. In some cases, bootcamps, certifications, and online courses are great ways to show your employer that you're serious about re-entering the workforce. And the final tip here is to get relevant work experience and do some projects to help rebuild your resume again. I would consider contract positions or even part-time roles, or maybe you could do an externship or micro-internship to rebuild your resume again. A lot of the successful people I've seen re-enter the workforce after a break have combined this with tip number 4 to really gain some traction and show employers that you're serious. So there you have 5 proven tips to help re-enter the workforce after a break. And one thing that I wanted to point out is that everybody that I've talked to who has re-entered the workforce has said that this does take some time, so be patient and never give up. The longer that you've been out of work, the longer it may take you to break back in, but don't give up and have faith. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe if you found this video helpful or if you want more free advice on resume writing, networking, and interviewing.